Okay, everybody, we are here finally after several hundred tries with my good friend DeAndrea Lockett. And Miss Lockett is a not only a personal friend, but she's a mentor. She's my coach. She's in the church world, we'll call it anointed. I think I heard him say it in the non-church world too.
Yeah.
She's talented. She is an expert in her field, and she is here. This video is going to go viral. I'm telling you now. She is here to help the 10 people that she needs to help because it has to be. You guys don't even know what we've been through to get here. So, how are you today, finally, after our 100th try?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm excited to be here. I didn't want to let you down. So we have to press on.
We absolutely do. And I appreciate your determination to get this video done. And it's going to go out. And there are going to be plenty of people who will call you who need your assistance. So we're going to give your contact information several times. So if you are listening to this, because it is being recorded and you need to contact her, she's going to give her information several times. So let me just explain to people how we met. I was taking a business class at a school called JBS, Joseph Business School. It was the most intense and intense and accelerated. And I'll say the school's anointed. And Dee was introduced to me as my advisor. And I still have her in my phone as my advisor because she's still advising me. So the reason I wanted to interview you and let people know what you do is because a lot of times when people are dealing with grief, their life stops. Just absolutely stops. They put everything on hold. They stop doing whatever they were doing before that loved one passes away. And right now, you're a caregiver. And I know that you're a caregiver. I talked to you countless times, and you're working long hours and still trying to care for your relative. Unless you want me to say who it is, I'm not going to say it. But you are a caregiver, so you're on the side of it where you're actively doing it. But so many times when people are a caregiver and their loved one passes away, they don't know what to do with themselves anymore. So there are plenty of people who are watching this video this very moment because you're watching it at the time you're supposed to be watching it, that have a business either inside of them or a business that they put on hold to care for their loved one. And some of us, like I'm a real estate agent, and I will never forget this all the days of my life. I started this support encouragement, and you told me it's an encouragement community. When I started this encouragement community, my niece, who is the reason, her name is Dejane, she's the reason I started this group. She was laying in the hospital bed. I had been there all night, and I left her side to go show houses because I'm a real estate agent. That's how I make money. You, as a caregiver, spend countless hours at your office working for your clients. So it's enough talking for me. Tell us a little bit about what you do, Dee.
So thank you for inviting me. I almost think that my comments are gonna be so brief until I think I know exactly what I'm supposed to say and who I'll be talking to. And you brought up the caregiving aspect. I am a marketing director. Well, I own a marketing firm and web development. And we are rebranding right now, but I'll give you an email or phone number where you guys can always text me before we get off of the call. You mentioned the caregiving aspect, and I want to say, and you also said something else that resonated with me. My grandfather was my whole life. He was My mother was pregnant with me as a teenager. He was the person that took her to the hospital. My grandmother was at work when she went into labor, and he was there. He's the one that took her to the hospital. He's the one that stayed while I was born. He is the first person to hold me and affirm me and all of that. My father was a teenager too, so he wasn't around. The family wasn't around back in that time, when a whole different time, right? Having a baby out of wedlock as a teenager was a big deal, right? Now, not so much, but then it was culturally different. It was a different time, and it was just a big, big deal. So my grandfather is the one that I would say is probably most responsible for who I am today. He affirmed
Also,
he affirmed me as a woman. He affirmed me as a girl. I didn't go to school and get just all blown away because a guy told me I was pretty. He had told me that since I was a little girl. So I said to somebody recently, and I'll share this just briefly. A guy was saying something to me, and I said, I said that won't work with me because I was raised by a man. So you have to use that line on somebody who wasn't raised by a man. And so he started laughing. But when my grandfather passed, I didn't know it at the time, but my family told me years later they were in fear for me because they didn't know how I would respond. I thought I did well. He had dementia. He had dementia, but he also had some lung things going on that I didn't know about because I had moved away. And when he passed away, I thought I was handling it well. It wasn't until about 6 years later, my life was a mess, that I realized something is going on with me. And I owned a nail salon in Atlanta. And one of the customers that came in out of the blue one day, she was a child psychologist. And we started talking. And between there and a manicure, she was like, you are stuck. You're trying to live and you're not living because you're not letting go. You didn't grieve. You didn't mourn him. You were trying to be the big girl that he raised you to be, this strong woman, but it's not the time for you to be a strong woman. It's time for you to be a granddaughter that lost her grandfather. And I went through that process. Thankfully, though, I was messing up everything I was doing because I wasn't going through the lost part so that I could do the living part.
Yes.
And that is crucial. I would not go through that lost part because it was so final for me. He was the person I called, when it was wisdom, I needed wisdom, or when I was complaining, or so when I would think about doing things, I would keep trying to do the stuff mechanically, but I was making a whole mess of it, and it was a mess. Messing up relationships, money, businesses, you name it, just trying to get past. But then when I met you and you said living with loss, you have to do the living part and you have to have the purpose part.
Absolutely.
You have to live on purpose, even after somebody else goes on. I still have moments. My grandfather has been passed. When I looked at it, I couldn't believe it. Almost 20 years. And I was telling my mom, who is the person I'm caregiving for, it was her dad. And I told her the other day, I said, I was 10 years in, I was at the grocery store and just looked at my thumbs and realized we have the same thumbs. And I bust out crying in the grocery store. He's always, I'm always going to be lost. That's always not going to be there. But I still have to live, and I have to live on purpose. For some people, it's a business. For some people, it's going to be a nonprofit. For some people, it's going to be just how they handle their children differently. For some people, they're going to just be advocates. They're not going to start a business, but going to start advocate for things for organizations that are already desperately in need of volunteers.
And so let me ask you this. You said two things. You talked about rebranding your own business, and how do you help people who need to either start a business or restart their business? And that's what I titled this.
Okay.
Starting or restarting a business.
Okay. So I want to start a business. What I do is consultation and coaching, right? If you have a business idea, I had somebody contact me. We build on 3 premises, whether you're starting a business, you're rebranding, or you're expanding. You have to analyze where you are. And then you have to build a strategy. And so I strategize with you, and then execution. A lot of people get lost in the analysis paralysis, where they analyze, and they never move to strategize. And then some people, and strategy is sitting down saying, what are my moves going to be? What is it that I want to accomplish? So if your goal is, I want to start my business by December 31st, by January 1st. Okay, so then I would say, let's analyze, what do you have going on in your life, and how much time do you have to give to your business? So if you say to me, I only have an hour a week, or I could really only squeeze out a couple hours on a Saturday, then I'm going to count that up, and we're going to put that in a pool. How are we going to use these hours that we have? Because time is money in business. So how much currency, which is your time in this case, or resources, how much of that do you have to put towards us analyzing and strategizing and developing your plan? No, how much time do you have to execute a plan that we put together from our strategy session? And that's how I'll break out tasks for you. But that's how you would do that. Know that your time is a resource, it's currency, and using it to make a plan, to analyze what you have, to make a plan, and then actually put action. So don't just have a plan. We could spend all day having a plan, but you have to execute that plan.
So you said, I know that a lot of times people stop their business as a caregiver, then they're stuck. So your job is to help you move past that. And that's what this whole support group is about, moving past the stuckness, if you will. I don't know that that's a word, and you can find it in Webster, or you can find it on. But anyway,
That's your word.
I'm the queen of making up stuff. I am a storyteller. I know that. I'm an actor in the song. All of that. I'm a part-time comedian. I have a real son that's a real professional comedian, but he doesn't even realize where he got it from. But it's okay, because I know where he got it from. But so a lot of times, so you help people walk through that fear. You walk with them, because a lot of times people will feel like, well, my partner is gone and I don't know, no longer have anybody to encourage me. That's you. That's your job. Am I right?
Part of that is my job. Now, it's funny, people say that I encourage them. I guess, it's part of.
You do.
Here's my heart. My heart is, I want you to make your mark. Somebody's going to mourn our loss someday. I want you to make your mark. I want you to leave your mark in the earth that you were here. So when I look at people and they start, because when people share their vision with me, they're being very vulnerable. Because, when you share your personal vision, somebody can say, oh, that's stupid. No, If that's what's in your heart and that's what God put there, I see it as my job to grab your hand and say, let's walk this out.
I think that a lot of people need that, especially while they're grieving. And I encourage people, you're grieving, get a fresh start, do something new, do something different. And if you had a business, say if I came to you and I said, D, I want to sell rubber bands. I know you. So personally, you would take that business personally and you would almost make it where I would be the best rubber band salesperson in the world. I know you. You've
But
helped
that's
me.
not only if I know you,
I
right?
know.
That's
I'm saying
not
I
just
know
if you
you,
know.
but you're the business strategist, and you can help people who have something inside of them that's dormant because they're grieving. And so I know you've talked to. Go ahead.
Let me interject this. Or you've alluded to this a couple of times. It's difficult juggling caregiving for my mom and running a company and make sure my customers are satisfied and making sure I have self-care and making sure I do this and making sure that it's difficult. Some people have to let it go. Like they have to let their dream go because they love somebody, right? If that's you, go back and pick it up to honor the person that you loved and let it go for.
Absolutely. So
Go
when
back
we were
and pick that up and honor them and know that I'm here. I'm not the only person, but I'm here to say you might have to pick it up in increments. You might have to handle it differently because you're in a different place. But I still say you have to pick it up and you have to carry on. And that's going
absolutely.
to be your purpose for living.
And I remember in school we had to do statistics, and one of the statistics that I discovered is when a spouse dies. If say my husband passed away, which I don't have one right now, just waiting to get one of those. But anyway, I'm not advertising on this Zoom. But anyway, so say my husband passes away. This is so hypothetical, and we had a business together. 95% of the women will continue that business. You said you had a nail salon. Do you know if you were married and your husband, you passed away, 95% of the men would walk away from that
Walk
business.
away from the business.
So I think that women, especially women, if you were in, I had a woman tell me yesterday that she was an insurance agent because her ex-husband owned an insurance company. I said, wow. So we as women will pick up other people's ideas, gifts, businesses, and we will carry them because like it's our baby.
Mhm.
But what if my husband, he had a car dealership? Well, I'm probably going to keep the car dealership. I love cars. But say he had a woodworking business. I can't even color in between the lines. So I'm either going to hire people to color in between the lines for me, or I'm going to have to let the business go and do my own business. So you help people develop their vision. What else do you do to help people with businesses?
I would let me just go back to the woodworking business. I would immediately say if you don't have a passion for that, I help people determine what their passion is. It might
That's good.
there are two different things to be happening here. Maybe you developed a passion for something or discovered a passion for something while you were helping your husband in woodworking, right? So that you might not be the woodworking person, but maybe you determine that you just love the way wood floors look after, right? So maybe your passion is flooring and not woodworking. So I have those conversations to really dig down into what's in your heart, right? Or I would say, if you don't want anything to do with this, and I have a conversation with you and we do deep dive consultation and we determine you love something completely different that you saw yourself doing when you were 12 years old, I'm going to say sell the business, liquidate, take that money and put it into where your passion is. So
Absolutely.
two different things that could happen here, but it goes down to you having a consultation with me and we really sit down and talk about who you are, where you are, and help to delicately, and then sometimes not delicately, get you to a place that you can be honest with yourself and what you have now.
Because you cannot move past your grief, or you cannot move into your business and you're still dealing with yourself or the loss of a loved one. And so not only you do websites, I'm asking.
Absolutely. And websites are part of the marketing. You just, and today you have to have a digital presence, right? So that's just part of the marketing matrix that we have. It is a starting point for me. Where's your website? Where can we send people to? And develop that out in a way that meets the needs of the people that visit you and also helps automate your business. One of the things I would say to anybody who is considering starting a business, relaunching, is you've suffered a loss, but you don't have to go back to business as usual. There's a lot of automation tools out there. There are some things to make business easier for you that you can implement so that your business is still running and still doing some of the mechanics of business while you're still taking care of yourself and while you're making sure you're okay.
So I have a couple of things. Let's interject a commercial here. Tell us how we can get a hold of you if we need to relaunch our business, start a business, get some ideas, get some coaching for you. How do I get a hold of you?
So the first thing I would tell you to do is you can visit me online at the marketing, DEPT, for department.co. It's not com, it really is .co. So that's the marketing, DEPT.co. Or you can also, and you can send me an email there, or you can feel free to also send me a text message. I've set up a little new little text something so that people can text me, and that number is 810-316-8684. Again, you can visit me online at the marketing department, DEPT.co, or you can send a text to 810-316-8684. And we also have an 800 number, which is 1-800-507-5090. And you can reach me at extension 1.
Okay, so now give us a little bit of your resume. I know you were my advisor for JBS, Joseph Business School, through the Living Word, Bill Winston Ministries. What else have you done? And I know some things you've done. I just want you to tell us what else and what other organizations have you worked with people in their businesses?
So I have I've worked for SCORE, I volunteer with SCORE.
What SCORE?
SCORE
Tell us what SCORE is.
Hired. It's an organization of retired professionals, and they don't want to go home and not have anything to do, so they volunteer their expertise to help business owners, small business owners, grow and scale their businesses. The organization has pivoted to where there's a lot of people like me who are actually in business that are serving the organization. They have tons of free resources. There's no cost to anything. As you're starting your business, they will assign a mentor to you to help you work through some of those things, like getting government contracts, getting certifications, understanding marketing and how to apply those things to your business. And so everything from accounting to insurance, any HR, anything you can name. There are professionals who are dedicated to volunteering their time. I've also taught for the city of Detroit, for Tech Town. American Express tapped me to be one of the marketing mentors for when they gave away, they did American Express 100 for 100. They gave 100 women $25,000 each. And they also gave resources like consulting and stuff. And I was one of those who mentee was a mentor to a couple of the young ladies who've since been featured in Essence and has expanded her business. She has a retail location. Wow, I've just taught for Luminary, which is a women's organization in New York. And who else? The City of Detroit Tech. It's so many people. I be trying to remember. Oh, Fifth Third Bank is another person that brought me on to partner with them to teach. And they have something every year that if Fifth Third is near you, they do a small business bus, and they go around into neighborhoods and help small businesses with different services. They give away cash prizes and all sorts of things. So the list goes on and on. I get kind of tired, like who did all that? But yeah, I've been part of some really great things. Last year, I've been for the last 3 years, I've been an advisor for Joseph Business School, wonderful faith-based organization, that school that is dedicated to eradicating poverty through entrepreneurship. And I was a student myself, and I was a speaker actually on their business and leadership conference in March for the first time. Sat on the panel and was honored to do that. So always doing something, always interested in helping. I know that people that you're serving, because you are serving, and this is beautiful. I know it takes a more delicate touch, a more sensitive discernment to determine where people are in their heart as they're making steps. Because for some people, reopening their business or starting their business is the biggest leap of faith they're going to make after they've lost someone. And so
tell us again, if I needed to get in touch with you one more time, because you just gave us an extensive resume. And so at first people were like, well, who is it just talking? Now we know who you are.
No.
If I wanted to get in touch with you and I didn't know you, how would I get in touch with you? Tell me again.
By visiting the website at themarketingdept.co. That's themarketingdept.co. Also, you can call our 1-800 number, 1-800-507-5090, extension 1. Again, that's 1-800-507-5090. Or you can text 810-316-8684. Again, that's 810-316-8684.
I have one final question, and I actually just know that people need to hear what you have to say. Here's my final question, Dee. Why? Why should I, as a grieving person, restart or start my business? Just tell me, in your estimation, why? Why should I do this? Why should I'm sitting on my sofa. Literally, I'm sitting on my sofa. Why should I get up off this sofa? I've been grieving for 5 years. Why should I get up off this sofa and start that business or restart that thing that's in my heart? Why should I do that? You tell me a good reason in my anger, in my grief. Why? Why should I let this sofa go? It's comfortable. I don't watch that TV in front of me, but it's a TV in front of me. Why? Just tell me why.
Because it's time. Everything there is a time and there's a season under heaven. There is a time to mourn. God said there is a time to mourn. He did not, whether you believe in God or not, you can look and see that the seasons change. There is times and seasons for everything. It's just time. You have
Absolutely.
to live.
You have to live.
There's nothing There's nothing else you can do on the couch. The
No,
person that you lost, you can honor them by living. Continue to sit on the couch. The couch has nothing else to give. It gave you comfort. By now, the couch, you tired of sitting on the couch, if you want to be
the
honest.
couch has an indentation
Right. It's like
of my
the
butt.
couch is saying give up, get up. There, you watched all the TV you can watch, you've watched all the reruns. It's just time. You
It
know
is
it's time. You know it's time. Nobody has to tell you it's time. You've told yourself it's time. You
It's
just
time
don't
to
know
go.
how to do it. And it's gonna
That's
take
where you come in.
you don't know how to get up because you've got to get up. You have to make your own mind up and force your own will to pick up the phone and call me. I can't call you. Even you dialing me is still going to be an act of your own will. It's just time. I'm not going to make it deeper than it is. It's just time, and you know it's time.
So as we were talking, I'm doing this Zoom on my phone. One of the members of the Living with Loss group, and living is the emphasis word here.
Yeah.
We need people to live. She just called me. We're on a recorded Zoom. She just called me. She has just started a new job. I'm so proud of her. And yes, people call me when they need support. And we're going to start our sessions back up in September, toward the end of September. I'm going to do some Zoom, but just think about this, Dee. We may need to do a workshop.
Well, I was just going to say, put me down to do a workshop, to do a workshop or do a fireside chat. I can literally answer questions that they might have before they're ready to necessarily take that step. Maybe they have some piercing questions. I'm good at doing fireside chats and, rapid fire, because sometimes people just have questions while they're still sitting on the couch. And I make myself available for that.
We're going to do that in the fall. We are. It's still summer, and I'm letting everybody get their summer on because sunshine is good for you. It's 7:40 and it's still light outside. I love the sunshine. I have my tan on and everything. I love the sunshine. So I appreciate your time. I appreciate this interview. I appreciate it. It was very encouraging. And I know that the people who will watch this, you're going to give your information again. They should reach out to you. And if you're in the mission,
reach out to me to talk. So if you just, like I said, like I'm going to do it on the fireside chat, but if you are the person that's sitting on that couch and you just need questions answered, like I do have a business inside of me. I don't know how to get off the couch. Then don't get off the couch and grab a pad.
Call me. I'll help you get off the couch.
But I'm saying you got to start somewhere. It might be, then I want you to start writing your ideas out. I'm going to call you in 48 hours. I want you to do this exercise. Because as you take one step, you literally are physically making your mind and your body think about something else other than what you lost. You have more to gain. You have more to gain. So when
you have more life to live.
More life to live. But when you physically tell your brain, I've got something else to do, that's 5 minutes, 10 minutes that you're not thinking about the grief. You're not thinking about the loss. You're thinking about, I got to think about what would I name my business? And so for that 10 or 15 minutes, you broke the cycle of just sitting on the couch thinking about what you lost.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think this is wonderful. I think that was a wonderful suggestion. And everybody, we're going to do a workshop in the Southeast Michigan area. Or if you're seeing this somewhere else and you'd like to have Dee and I come talk to a group, we'll be happy to do it. Visit us on Facebook. Living with Loss, Let Them RIP is our Facebook group. We have a very interactive group. We have lives all the time. We've interviewed authors, we've interviewed widows, we've interviewed widowers, we've interviewed um, lots and lots of people. So our first birthday was a couple days ago, and we took our gifts that people brought, and there's money. We gave them to an organization that my church runs. It's called Reach 313, and we donated food items to school children so that they could have food on the weekends. I went to my aunt's 95th birthday celebration today, and my cousin, her daughter, said, "Hey, I saw that video. How do I send food?"
Oh,
And people are still talking about sending food. So I told her, I said, I'm going to send you the link. So I just appreciate everybody for watching. You have a great night. Dee, one more time. How can people get a hold of you?
1-800-507-5090, extension 1. You can text me directly at 810-316-8684. And the website is themarketingdept.co.
Well, thank you. And thank you for your time. And you have a wonderful rest of your day.
All right, you too. Thank you for having me.
Bye.